for Success, in partnership with United Way Suncoast, is committed to organizing activities for girls in elementary, middle, and high school. The objective is to empower these young individuals, enabling them to cultivate positive attitudes, valuable skills, and beneficial behaviors that foster their personal development. Here to tell us more about the organization's mission and how it benefits from United Way Suncoast capacity building is Crystal Bales, CEO and founder of Girls Empowered Mentally for Success, also known as GEMS. Crystal, welcome to Suncoast Snapshot.
Thank you for having me. This is very exciting.
We're so glad to have you here. So, Crystal, earlier I mentioned that the goal of GEMS is to empower young women by fostering positive mindsets, valuable abilities, and beneficial actions that aid in personal growth. Can you provide more details about the objectives and goals of GEMS activities to empower women in developing the skills needed for self-development?
So I'm very excited to be able to kind of share what the vision is for what we do. Our focus is creating healthy transitions for girls everywhere. And what that means for us is that we kind of hone in on the transitions. So my elementaries, as they're entering into middle school, they're in a very special place. And we try to work through the social emotional wellness, I would say traps, if you will, that go into that. We know that statistically, how we land in a place determines our success in that place. And so now, as we go through puberty, so our middle schooler has a lot of changes. Again, we are focused on the transition. You will notice in our logo and even in our social enterprise that a butterfly is really our emblem, right? Because that is the ultimate symbol of transition. For our middle schooler who transitions into high school, we want to lean into that gap, right? That 8th grade, stepping into 9th grade. We can all attest to how awkward that feels. You're a small fish in a big pond all of a sudden. And so we try to lean in on what is that like? What does your communication need to be? How do you advocate for yourself now that you're in high school? What does that mean towards your future? So future success and ultimately creating an opportunity for her to be a community investor is where we want her to land. So I think that the one thing that is missed sometimes in the conversation is we are just so focused on those gaps, the bridge. We want to be considered a bridge from one stage of life to the next. So that is, I guess, the fill-in. Now, the last piece for us is what we're working on with our transition social enterprise. Well, that was a bridge as well, a bridge from high school into what we consider now to be a community investor.
That's amazing. I really appreciate that response. It's encouraging to see such a comprehensive approach that supports personal growth and fosters confidence in young women. Can you share how partnering with United Way Suncoast and Results First has positively impacted your organization?
So it's a great place to start because we landed on the community investor as a overall goal. And with results first, that's where we began the work. Most of our work with Results First was really honing in on our social enterprise. So Transitions Candles is how we answered the question, how can we help her at this stage in her life? She is now graduating high school. She might be a junior. She needs different things. She's not our elementary girl anymore, right? And so how do we get that layer? We're a group mentoring organization, but she needs a different mentor now. She needs someone that's going to help her in life skills and strengthen her in her decision making. So Results First made us talk about that in a different way. So we begin in 2016 with a social enterprise focus very much on providing a service for that girl, but also focus on a revenue stream for the program side. So how do we generate revenue and continue to do the good work that we want to do for her without having to worry always about grants and funding? That was really the goal of creating a social enterprise, but it's way bigger than that. Results First made us lean into the possibility that our candles were actually just a tool, that this tool would be used to help us combat generational poverty. How do we do that? So for us, a community investor is a girl who graduates high school and has the ability to join the military, go off to college, or go into the workforce. We had to hone in on those numbers and understand that we use our candles as a way in which to get her there. And ultimately, if we can get her there, she now will go on and potentially have her own individual success, i.e., what we call a community investor. So Results First had us lean into what we wanted to accomplish over and above what we were doing.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Thank you for those points. That's really great to hear. And I'm delighted to hear about the beneficial impact that your partnership with United Suncoast and United in Results First has benefited you. You know, considering your experience with Results First, what changes or enhancements are you planning to make moving forward?
So while we were in the cohort, we had the opportunity to create what we thought would be a pilot. They taught us that really is a prototype of what we want to do going forward. So we've made some changes. We've determined that, the original plan was written for us to interact with high school seniors and juniors, thinking that they really had the potential, because part of our social enterprise is giving them a part-time job. So they get a paid internship as a part of being in the Transitions Candle Social Enterprise Network, right? And so with Results First, we created this prototype that allowed us to look at it differently. So now we open this program up to 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. What it's done is gave us an opportunity to build stronger relationships, to help at the stages that they're in, 9th, 10th, and 11th. So the pillars of what we try to get to them are financial literacy, are time management, leadership, communication, and technology. Well, a 9th grader can use those as well. With the pilot, i.e. the pilot or the prototype, we actually put that to a test. And so we had 8 out of 10 girls who were part of that prototype learned about about planning, right? About budgeting. They learned about leadership, communication. They learned these pillars at the level that they were. So what we've done now is create an early entry into our program, which has allowed us to mentor them and allowed us to add another layer. We do lunch and learns. Normally we do our lunch and learns and we focus on puberty and health concerns. But now we are bringing them under our umbrella earlier with their parents, and we are able to build these relationships that will make them will really create another avenue of success for them. So now they're seniors, but they're already part of our network, which increases our numbers, increases our impact, and increases our opportunity to create these community investors.
That's fantastic, Crystal. It's great to see the commitment moving forward, and I do look forward to seeing the positive outcomes of these enhancements in the future. Crystal, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me today and sharing valuable insights about Girls Empowered Mentally for Success. To learn more about the organization and its mission, please visit their website at girlsaregems.org. And as always, remember, united we rise.
United we win.
Yes. Thank you so much.
All right.